Let's talk a little bit about another hypocrisy, which is that on Fox News, they have had all of these different news anchors, Tucker Carlson, Laura Ingraham, and all of these. You know the crew. You know the crew. Bemoaning and denouncing Joe Biden's vaccine requirements for big businesses as tyrannical, as authoritarian, as illegal, as unconstitutional, despite not being any of those things. When Fox News has had an actual stricter policy on masking, on testing, and on vaccines, which the White House is now praising. This is actually unbelievable. The White House is now praising Fox for having a stricter version of Biden's vaccine or test mandate, despite bashing the policy on air. The White House praised one of its top media critics, Fox News, for announcing an even stricter vaccine or test mandate than the administration's new federal policy for employers. Fox announced Tuesday it will soon roll out daily COVID testing for unvaccinated employees. Remember, Biden's proposal was vaccinated or weekly testing. Fox is going to do vaccinated or daily testing if you've not revealed your vaccination status to the company. They've asked employees to submit vaccination status and revealed 90% of its employees confirmed they had been immunized against the virus. Think about that. If the country was as vaccinated as Fox News employees, things would be going way better right now. Denmark, which is 75% vaccinated, which is still almost 50% greater than us, Denmark is essentially wide open with declining cases. Fox is 90% vaccinated. If the country was as vaccinated as Fox News, which on air criticizes vaccine requirements, we would be in a really good position right now. As the article says, last week, Biden announced all employers with more than 100 employees must mandate vaccines or weekly testing. Fox previously required certain essential employees to undergo regular testing. The White House urged Fox to inform its audience about the effectiveness of such policies. White House spokesperson said Tuesday, today's news from Fox follows a trend we're seeing across the country. Vaccination and testing requirements work. We're glad they've stepped up to protect their workforce and strengthen the economy. We encourage them to convey to their audience that these types of practices will protect their employees, communities, and the economy. This is in addition to Fox's policy that only vaccinated employees can remove masks in some settings. All employees must be masked in confined indoor settings. Think about that. Biden rolls out a policy, which is if you have 100 employees, you've got to vaccinate or you've got to test weekly. No mandated masking for the unvaccinated. Fox's on-air talent goes on and says this is tyrannical, this is not freedom, this is un-American, this must be stopped, this could be against the law. And yet, behind the scenes, Fox News has the same vaccinator test requirement, except at Fox, it's not a weekly test. It's a daily test if you're unvaccinated. And in addition to that, in some settings, if you're unvaccinated, you have to keep wearing a mask. It is much stricter at Fox News than what Fox's own on-air talent decries as tyrannical government oppression, as outlined by Joe Biden in his proposal. So why hasn't Tucker Carlson resigned to protest these dystopian policies? Meanwhile, he's on air saying, "Hey, you know what? We've got to investigate. We've got to fly to Trinidad to interview Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend, whose testicles swelled after getting the evil vaccine." And yet, he's part of a company with a stricter requirement than what Joe Biden has laid out. And you know the reason why? It's all disingenuous garbage. Tucker makes a ton of money at Fox News. It's really that simple. But he makes the money at Fox off of an audience whose education and finances are different than his. The messaging on his show isn't for people like him, for people in his tax bracket with the amount of sort of market power that he has as a well-paid and highly rated Fox News host. It's for people who make a lot less money and have a lot less market power in dealing with their employers, who actually are at much greater risk if they show up and they say, what you guys are doing is tyrannical, Tucker told me on Fox News. So it's all a setup for Tucker's audience to just blame the left for all of it. And you don't, all of the bad things that are happening are because of Democrats, and we should oppose all of it, even though Tucker himself is implicitly accepting it by continuing to work at Fox News under a stricter mandate than that which Joe Biden proposed last week. So it's pathetic, and we will keep calling it out. But at the end of the day, if people don't realize that this is all a ruse, they are going to keep getting bamboozled by it and saying, no, Tucker told me that this is tyrannical. Tucker told me that this is bad. Let me know your thoughts. You can find me on Twitter at dpacman. One of our sponsors is Sheath Underwear. It is the hottest part of the year right now. If you're a guy who wears traditional underwear, you know about the sticking and the rubbing and the chafing. Not something you have to worry about with Sheath Underwear, which is designed with multiple ergonomic compartments in the front, which prevent skin-on-skin contact, keeping everything separate, dry, cool, and comfortable. Sheath actually just re-released 2 limited edition styles, the Flower of Life, featuring a stylish enamoring flower pattern and bold geometric waistband. The other limited edition style is the Mesh Airflow, specially designed to be lightweight and promote extra coolness and breathability. Sheath Underwear was designed by an Iraq War veteran who was looking for a way to keep himself dry and comfortable in the hot desert. And the underwear he developed ended up being perfect for just about any context in everyday use. Sheath Underwear is giving my viewers 20% off when you go to sheathunderwear.com/Pacman and use the promo code Pacman.